Hello, this is DarkElf85 on YouTube or HektontheMage on PSN, and welcome back to Vampire the Masquerade Coteries of New York. I hope everyone is doing okay. I'm alright. I just saw a certain amount of money flash before my eyes this afternoon. It was a combination of things. I needed to get, I don't know if need is the right word, but I wanted to get, wanted to get new glasses. So I got, it's been a while. I actually don't remember the last time I got glasses. I think it was, it was before COVID. I don't know when, but I wanted to get some new glasses before I left. I needed to get, the lenses were kind of bleh, and I wanted to get new frames. I may keep some of the frame. I was going to buy some frames also, but I ended up not doing it because of how much I spent. Because I buy 2 pairs of glasses, one for work, one for non-work, and then I buy a pair of sunglasses. So that's 3 pairs of glasses, basically. So I did that, and I bought my CPAP machine from the company that had it. So in Korea, you just rent it with your insurance, and I ended up buying it because I'm leaving. And they're going to stop by again to do a final check towards the last month or last week, basically, week and a half before I leave, and to give me some more filters and whatnot, and a new mask, I think they said. So yeah, and so I paid for that, and I was like, there's some more money down. And actually during this month, probably the week of the 15th, ideally after my, I have to message them again about it, after my meeting, my interview, I'm going to see people in Daejeon. I have to actually message some other people. So that's like in about 2.5 weeks. I have to chat with my colleague. I've posted some photos for colleagues for getting things for my office and apartment, and I know I have to get one thing ready for next week to the office for my colleague, one of my colleagues, and another colleague is going to pick up some things this weekend. Then we have to figure out when the next weekend, because she goes to visit the USA for friends and family at the end of this, well, not even at the end of this month. I think it was like around the 20th or so. And I know one of my other colleagues, not another English professor, but another, the Chinese professor, she's visiting the USA next week, actually. Yeah. So I don't think last time I saw her, well, maybe I'll see her before she leaves. Maybe. But yeah, so things are heating up for getting things cleared up and packed. At some point, I'm gonna have to. I know my one colleague who's gonna pick up some things this weekend. I have to clean, make sure it looks presentable. I don't know which clear containers she wants. I have a lot of containers in my apartment. If I were to count how many storage unit type things I have that I bought, I have like, 4 bookshelves? 3 bookshelves. A storage ottoman thing, a lot of shelving drawer units. I like storing things. I like organizing things, especially when you have a small place. You kind of need it, in my opinion. Or you just need to not have as much crap as I do, one or the other or both. But yeah, I have a lot of stuff. Hello. talking stuff before I play. But yeah, things are moving fast. I'm gonna be leaving Korea after 13 years come the end of this. Well, the start of next month. Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, and I'm on day 2 of 3 days for contesting period on grades for students. So I may actually have some emails I need to check, but I'll check them tomorrow morning. I'm going to go to, if I don't go to my office, I'm going to go to a coffee shop like around 10 a.m. maybe. No, wait, coffee shops don't usually open up at 10. Actually, no, that one does. So I could do 10:30. I'll do 10:30. Or maybe I'll leave my place at 10:30. Whatever. But then I'll be there until like 5 because that's when the closing thing happens at 5. So I'll be on there. And oh man. Not as many contesting, don't say complaints, Dark. Not many contesting. I do need to check through some of the grades to make sure I have everything right, but I think I got everything up to snuff for grades. It ultimately comes down to when I turn in the paper grades. It's only 2 things I have to turn in. The official attendance list the official attendance list also has the grades on it. It's like a grade sheet and attendance sheet. You got to make sure I have the right markers, attendance markers and whatnot, what they use. And then the official online grading stuff, grade stuff. But yeah. Anywho, I found out when I loaded yesterday to redo things, you can't redo stuff on your save. It auto-saves, folks. I didn't know that. So, guess what? I'm not having hope in my coterie. Yeah, it's not happening. Also, I think it's the first time I've had that happen. When I played this, the first time. I don't think I ever screwed up with anyone. So that's fun. Sorry, cutie. I don't think it will work out. It's not me. It's you and your vibes. You're kind of dumb and boring. You wanted to protest, but then you realize how many times you made a fool of yourself in front of her tonight. Yep, she looks honestly disappointed. Alright, get out. Through the door, go right, keep heading straight until you reach the stairs. Red door on the left. You should be able to find your way from there. I'll send you our selfie together. Whenever you look at it, remember that even if apart, we're still together in a way. So if I get in trouble because of something I've shown you here tonight, you might go down as an accomplice. Capiche? She leads you out and loudly shuts the door behind your back. The sound somehow drives the finality of her decision home. Oh well. Follow the directions, and after a brief period of wandering, you emerge from the labyrinth of gray corridors into a cluttered back alley. Back on the streets again, you'll have to survive them without hope. Well, that's scheisse. Oh, really? I can't... Okay. Alright, let's get him on my final team, even though, I am needing to suck off something. You're in your haven when someone knocks on your front door. Puzzled, you open it. Agathon stands in the hallway expectantly, as if the 10 seconds it took you for you to come to the door was an impossible imposition. How'd you know this was my apartment? Agathon looks impatient, as if he's explaining the simplest thing in the world. Oh! I drove you home last night, remember? Or last time, remember? That got me the neighborhood. As for the specific apartment, well, you left a hair in my car. Using that, your exact location was a matter of a simple application of the sympathetic principles. Whatever the fuck that is. Shouldn't be so strange. Everything we've done together has been about finding things through thaumaturgy. You follow Agathon down the street, wondering what kind of revelations tonight will hold. So far, Agathon's vigils haven't been successful at locating the research notes, but you've learned a lot about the Tremere and Agathon himself. This time I've got it. The problem is, when an old vampire disappears, even from our clan, we're so secretive that it's hard for us to find out what they were up to. Agathon's car is parked at the curb. You get in and he starts to drive. You may have guessed that the notes we're looking for belong to an old member of our house. The problem is that we need them to continue her research. What does Juno want to do with these notes? Is she going into research? Agathon looks at you uncertainly before returning his eyes to the road ahead. I don't know, but I can guess. You wait for him to continue, but he doesn't seem inclined to do so. You're getting used to sitting in Agathon's car in silence. He drives, you look out the window, back to Queens. Eventually, you roll up to an industrial area called Willett's Point. It doesn't really look like a place where a blood sorcerer would hang out. Agathon parks in front of a car repair shop that looks like it has seen better days. There are huge puddles of water on the road and car wrecks strewn about. Better be quick. If I can find this place, so can Juno. You look around to see if someone is observing you, but there don't seem to be any people about. Not in this stock photo of like a previous place I've been to. No, I know. There's only so many scenes you can create because that would be a lot. But anyway, and why would there be? Who would hang around at a place like this at night? Especially when they're adding all these like these details to make it come alive instead of a static piece. Agathon tries the front door of the repair shop and circles around to the back. You follow him. There's a broken window in the back protected by iron bars. Agathon grabs them and gives them a quick shake. The entire iron grill comes off. Startled, Agathon lowers it to the ground. I suppose someone else has already broken in and didn't want to leave an obvious point of entry. You and Agathon climb inside through the window. It's awkward but not difficult. Looking around, you realize that the repair shop has been abandoned for some time. It looks like homeless people have stayed here in the past, but nobody's currently squatting on the premises. Man, I need to suck someone off. You try a light switch, but nothing happens. You know the drill. I'll do the ritual in the office. Make sure there are no interruptions. Agathon makes his way to the repair shop's office, a slightly cleaner area than the rest of the building. He begins the ritual in the dark. I'll just stand guard. You lean against the grimy wall. Agathon murmurs the strange words required by his blood magic and takes carefully measured steps across the filthy floor. You wait patiently as he performs the ritual. It feels like it's taken longer than usual, leaving you time to scan the room. Street lights filter in from outside, but it's still pretty dark. A ratty sleeping bag lies on the floor. Wonder what a warlock might have wanted in a place like this. There's a small TV on the desk, probably from the 90s. Looking closely, you realize there's a post-it note on the middle of the TV screen. You take it. It reads, "Loser, Juno, uh-oh." Agathon stops gesturing. They're not here. How is that possible? You show him the post-it note. He takes it and looks it over as if suspecting it might hide a devious trick, not a hideous trick. Fuck. She has the notes. And she had to gloat. We have to go. Feels like you've spent a lot of time recently hurrying after Agathon as he walks briskly in and out of buildings into his car. He starts the car as you close the door. We have to go to her haven and get the notes. There's no time to waste. Despite the urgency of his words, Agathon drives as carefully as ever. It seems that only a threat to his grandmother is enough to make him drive recklessly. Eh? What if we can't get the notes? Iceling will be very unhappy. I will be very unhappy too. The research in those notes could be a great boon to all Kindred, mortals too. Juno's haven is in Brooklyn. in a waterfront warehouse. Agathon drives south to Brooklyn. This is one of the advantages of being undead. Moving at night, traffic is much lighter than if you wanted to zoom around the 5 boroughs during rush hour. Parking the car, Agathon points to a light coming from an otherwise dark yellow brick warehouse. That's her. Let's go in. Let's go around the warehouse. Preferring to keep a low profile for now, you circle around the building and look for an alternative entry point. You find a rusty metal door with no window in it at the very end of the building. Some kind of emergency exit? You get it open with little difficulty, entering the building with Agathon. You emerge into a light-proofed room, sectioned off on one side by a cheap plywood wall. There's a flimsy-looking door that probably leads to the main warehouse area. You stop to listen. You hear 2 voices. One is clear and you recognize that it belongs to Juno. The last time you heard her, she was shouting in a nightclub, but the voice is the same. The other voice sounds like it's coming from underwater. It has strange echoes and resonances that you can't figure out. I have the notes. There's nothing holding me here. Very good, Juno. I don't know how to make it sound like it's resonating from water. You'll be much happier once you shed the shackles of the pyramid. Yes, I think so. I wanted to ask Karna, is it possible... no, I wanted to ask... Sorry, it's a new thing. Karna, is it possible for me to bring another? Another of ours trapped in the hierarchy? Yes, use your judgment. We are too powerful for them to attack us now. Thank you. You won't regret this. Enough waiting. Agathon tries to break down the door by ramming into it with his shoulder. It's flimsy and breaks with surprisingly little effort. It's probably a pool of blood, but yeah. You and Agathon barge into the space and find yourselves at the periphery of a candle-lit ritual circle. Your eyes are drawn to the wash basin at Juno's feet. Oh, it's actually water. Maybe it's your imagination, but it almost feels like the water inside is emitting a wan, not Wayne. Wayne is with an E. Wan, red light of its own. Juno, you have to stop. Hand me the notes. Oh, Agathon, you're such an idiot. This is beyond you now. I'll give you one last chance. Come with me. Forget Aisling. Is it Aisling? I forget how it's pronounced. Her name's pronounced. I'm going to say Aisling. I'm going to mispronounce it if it's not Aisling. Aisling and her power games. Join me and you can become your own man. What? Agathon seems genuinely flabbergasted at the suggestion. And I hit the wrong button. Who's your contact, Juno? Who are you talking to? Juno smiles at you. That's a good question. I guess Aisling Sturbridge doesn't go around trumpeting the fact that the old hierarchy doesn't hold a monopoly on Tremere powers anymore. There are other forces out there, and I'll join them. Juno picks up a bulging old folder from a chair inside the ritual circle. If this dumbass has any brains, he'll join me. No, and not the clan, but for my family. My real family. Juno sighs. She doesn't look surprised at Agathon's refusal to come with her. I would have felt badly if I hadn't offered you the chance. Come back to the Chantry with me, Juno. Talk to Aisling. You'll see that this is not a good idea. You glance at Agathon with concern. You're no sorcerer, but fighting Juno in the middle of her ritual circle doesn't seem like a good idea. 2 words. Fuck you. What's annoying is that they're not showing me where my blood power is. I know it's not that great. Please just give us the notes. We won't stop you from leaving. Juno's shoulders slump. I'm tired of the fight. I'm tired of having to bust my ass for some asshole like Aisling. I want a new life away from all this crap. Juno weighs the folder in her hand. Maybe I should just give this to you. She walks toward you and you put your hand on the folder, but by then Juno's eyes brighten with realization. God damn it. You fucker, you're manipulating me. She slaps your face and you feel as if your insides have suddenly caught fire. You open your mouth, but no sound comes out. Finally, you focus on the feeling of Agathon's hand on your shoulder, and you realize you lie sprawled on the floor. Oh, you're right. Can you speak? The pain is receding, but you feel like shit. Hurting all over and barely able to walk. It'll take a lot of blood to mend from this state. God damn it! Agathon supports you as you walk back. He's smiling. You notice the folder under his arm. She got away, but I have the notes. I'm sorry you got hurt, but it was worth it. Worth it? You tell him a thing or two about your view of the situation, but your tongue is momentarily a lump of charcoal in your mouth. She smacked me with a fire hand? She must have. You sit in silence as have to, as Agathon drives you back to Manhattan. Traffic in the small hours is mercifully slight. Mercifully light? What is wrong with... Well, light does make sense. That's why I was thinking it. You can say your next words. I can speak again? Did she join Tremere rebels? Is there such a thing? There is. It was formed by a woman called Karna. We used to be pretty monolithic, but not anymore. I suppose Juno will be happy with them, if they accept her now that she's failed. You reach the occult bookstore. After Agathon parks the car, you head inside. You climb the second floor to find Iceling Sturbridge waiting for you. She looks surprisingly casual for someone with such power. You have good news, I hope. Yes, we have the notes. Agathon hands over the folder. Iceling Sturbridge caresses the cover with obvious joy. Wonderful. You did not disappoint. What of Juno? We were not able to stop her. She escaped. Well, no matter. Agathon, you proved yourself yet again. And Lamar, looks like the pyramid has a good friend in you. I'll do that. You know, I'm not saying anything. Agathon looks relieved. You leave the bookstore with praise ringing in your ears. Even the taciturn Agathon manages a smile. You have no idea what will happen with the notes, but you feel that you have reached an understanding with Agathon. Perhaps that's enough in this world of backstabbing and betrayal that you now inhabit. Okay. I have time to do one more. I want to try to start to get another person in the coterie. So we'll go for Jezebel. I already read this, but if you want to read it, you can pause it and look at it now. We'll probably continue with this one. I don't think it ultimately matters if you do these secondary side quests. I hope not. But this one is an interesting one too. But I need blood. I don't know how I'm going to get blood, but anywho, we'll do this one. Actually, I know how to do some blood. It involves one of those 3 other side stories, but I'm not doing it because I'm dumb. You make your way through the Grand Army Plaza, passing the Soldiers and Sailors Memorial Arc? Whatever. You can't help but feel a tinge of nostalgia as you picture the place as you've seen it countless times, in broad daylight, teeming with life. You quickly get over it and pass through the northwest gate into Prospect Park. The park is its usual maze of unkempt foliage and dimly lit alleys. Silence hangs in the air, as it would at this time of night, and there doesn't appear to be any sign of Kindred present. You start to suspect Langley's sources fed her a bunch of bullshit, but you're not willing to give up just yet. You take a deep breath. Your nostrils fill with the scent of dead leaves and something else. A faint whiff of copper, too subtle for a human to notice, but your newfound Kindred intuition tells you that you're in the right spot. Yeah, these are Tamika's hunting grounds, all right. It's more than a hunch. You can feel it in your veins. Now it's only a matter of finding her, unless, of course, she finds you first. As you ponder your options, you hear footsteps coming from behind a line of trees. Quick but evenly paced, most likely a late-night jogger. No vampire would take kindly to you feeding in their domain, but then again, perhaps you could kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Okay, I really need to feed. You lock onto the sound of footsteps, predicting the runner's path. You move slowly but quietly to intercept them. You hide behind a tree and wait for your prey to get closer. Mere seconds later, a young man in an off-brand tracksuit trots into view. You notice the buds in his ears, beat heavy music bleeding through. That should make things easier. Just as the man passes, you emerge behind him and plant your hand firmly on his neck. He struggles at first, desperately trying to break free of your grasp, but as soon as your fangs pierce his skin, panic gives way to peaceful submission. You feel elated as the warm liquid trickles down your throat. The fresh vitae washes over your senses, sending an orgasmic shiver along your spine. Somewhere in the deepest, darkest crevices of your mind, the beast stirs in its slumber. You stop feeding just in time. Your hunger satiated, Jesus. The beast fast asleep. It's not that late. You sit the dazed victim on a nearby bench. As the world comes back into focus, you suddenly realize that something is not right. In a split second, the air by the side of your head swirls like a vortex. Driven by sheer instinct, you lean back just as five-finger-shaped razors cut through the darkness, missing your face by an inch. Yeah, I'm probably not going to get Tamika because I decided to suck off someone in their domain. A clawed shape jumps back a few paces, preparing to correct its mistake. You catch a glimpse of this assailant. Looks pretty animalistic, alright, but he's not the one you're looking for. For starters, it's a he. Just as he's about to lunge at you, a snarl resounds from the bushes nearby, stopping your four in their tracks. Out of the shadows emerges a young woman, baring her teeth ever so slightly. She walks over, calmly, her eyes fixed on your assailant. Her presence is enough to make him reconsider attacking you, but not to withdraw completely. He glances over to her, puffing up his chest. Stay out of it, Tam. I smelled him first. Tam, how about that? She raises an eyebrow but remains silent. Her compatriot turns back towards you. You shouldn't have come here, pretty boy. Gonna fuck you up so bad you'll be wearing your tongue as a fucking necktie. Tamika looks at you expectantly. I know what would be the best options for them, so for her, so yeah. Alright, boy. Let's see if your bite is as bad as your bark. Clearly taken aback, he looks over to Tamika as if gauging her reaction. Guess I know who the alpha is around here. Barely visible smile creeps up on Tamika's lips. The man's eyes narrow. Although you can't really see it, you could bet the hair on the back of his neck just stood up. Shut your fucking mouth, pretty boy. You should have run when you had the chance. That was sucking someone off in your territory. Fierce growl echoes across the alley, stopping the savage in his tracks. Tamika walks over to her comrade, her fangs glistening in the dim lamplight. She puts her hand on the side of his head, caressing his hair and tugging at his ear, as if she was scolding a puppy. Ow, 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 ow. I can't make a dog sound that's wincing in pain. I'm sorry. She leans over and speaks in a wow. Dark. She leans over and speaks in a voice that's firm, yet oddly affectionate. It's okay, Raoul. I'll handle it from here. The male gangrel looks at her with a mix of timidity, and resentment. Then he turns back towards you. Sexy, sexy eyes. Actually, I like the tattoo of the tree. Is it like the I don't know, what kind of tree would that be? Is that the, what tree does it have a picture of with roots? Is it the I'm sorry, folks. I know there's one type of tree, but that's in Norse mythology, and I forget the name of it. Is it like the ever-living tree, ever-growing tree or something? Is it like that tree that he has a picture of? But his name is Raoul. So I wouldn't have thought that. I don't know, but I like it. Want to waste time on this asshole, Tam? Be my guest. Having said his piece, Raoul retreats into the shadows, although if you were to guess, he's likely to stay within earshot. With her companion gone, Tamika turns to you once more. What do you want? Short story, I'm new here and I'm looking for a chance to leave my mark. Maybe shake things up a bit in the process. I could use your help. Why me? Because I fucked up with Hope. My sources claim you're capable. Are they wrong? No, I guess not. But if you're so well informed, you should know that I don't whore myself out for mercenary work. I'm not hiring. I'm not hiring you. I'm offering you my help should you ever need it. And in time, perhaps also my friendship. Do I strike you as someone who needs a friend? You strike me as someone looking for a way out of this park for starters. Is that why you're here? To break me out? Are you my ticket out of here? I don't know if I'm gonna fuck this up. I've never fucked this up so badly. Why am I fucking up when I'm... Streamer's curse. That's all I've got to say on this. Look, I'm not stupid. I know you can leave any time, with or without me. I'm just asking for a couple nights of your time. So what's it going to be? For a brief moment, she stands there motionless, looking straight into your eyes as if trying to size you up. Finally, she looks away. It looks like she's come to a decision. Just so that we're clear, I don't trust you. I have no reason to. Frankly, you sound more lost than I am. Still, there's something about you. Most kindred who are this pretty tend to hide rot underneath. But I don't smell it on you. Not in you, but, same difference. So, I'll give you a chance to prove yourself. I have some outstanding business to take care of. I'll let you know once that's done. Meet me here, and we'll see what you're really made of. With that, Tamika disappears into the night. That went pretty well, all things considered. Alright, time to rest. Uh-oh. Kadir al-Asme, the sheriff of New York City, is knocking out the door to your haven. The sight comes as more than a little shocking. If he had business with you, you'd either expect to see him already inside or never see him coming at all. Yet there he is, on the other side of the peephole, patiently and politely waiting for you to let him in. You carefully unlock the door and face him in silence. My handsome man. Evening. May I come in? You simply stare at him. Your lack of an answer doesn't faze him, and your lack of resistance as he starts walking inside has obviously been interpreted as a permission. Once inside, he starts looking around as you cautiously stay by the door. Haven't really had time to make this place your own yet, have you? It feels like Langley's apartment through and through. A secluded study where nobody studies anything. Yeah, 'cause she's all for show, unfortunately. Look at the books on this shelf, obviously meant to impress guests, not to be read. They reveal nothing about their owner, aside from the aching desire to be taken seriously as an intellectual. He picks one of them up and smirks before putting it away. The phenomenology of spirit. Next to all this garbage poetry. We can make a bet. If she's read more than 20 pages, I owe you $50 and a gallon of blood. The kind of place that self-professed hermits entome themselves in to suffer. Considering how much you have to run around these nights, you probably only use it to shelter from the sun and rest, yes? Even though he's obviously making an effort to come off as non-threatening, it's impossible to forget the first impression he made. No! Don't think of that to our handsome toreador. You still see him as a fierce predator, trying hard not to expose his true colors. Okay. You sense a familiar fight or flight response as you struggle to find a diplomatic answer to his last question. If Kadir is bothered by your silence, he doesn't let it show. He keeps walking around, toying with whatever catches his eye. Eventually, he speaks up again. Oh yeah, I forgot he likes baseball. Watch any baseball lately? Oh, sorry, that's not... Watch any baseball lately? If I had to guess, you strike me as a Red Sox fan. Why do you think I would like New York City? Maybe I'm not from New York. Actually, do I personally have a USA baseball team that I care for? Not really. I don't really have... I'm not really into sports. I mean, I'll watch certain sports, but I'm not really into an actual sport. Like, I like tennis, but that's not a team sport, usually. I mean, they can be in pairs, but it's not a team sport. You still think of the players individually, because it's usually a single-player sport. So that's like maybe the most. Next to that, I like watching the Olympics, but that's just whoever is happening at the time. You know. Excuse me. I mean, there are teams that play in the Olympics, but, you know, whatever. I will watch golf at times. I like volleyball, but USA doesn't really have volleyball teams. Korea does. I'm going to miss that. Well, I haven't really been watching a lot of Korean sport or TV, but I did like that. Gwangju doesn't have, I don't think, a volleyball team, but I know Daejeon does. They have the Timberwolves. It's a men's team. I think it's the Timberwolves. I don't know. It's been a while. What else? I'm fine with watching bowling. That's fine. I did watch that a few times when I was younger, when it was on. But yeah, I'm not really a sports person, so I don't really have a sports team, a favorite sports team. I didn't grow up in a city that had a sports team. I mean, we had, okay, we did have a sports team, but they weren't a major league sports team. I mean, that's a major league sports team, the Red Sox. We had like a minor league, and then they went back. I mean, they were originally from Kansas, and they went back. It was the Omaha Royals, and then they went back to Kansas City. I think now that they're still the Kansas City Royals or something, I think. I don't know. Something like that. I think I watched a baseball game when I was in undergrad at the University of Minnesota Twin Cities. I don't think it was my university. No, it was the Twin Cities, whatever they're called. Was it the Minnesota Vikings? No, wait, or is that football? Is that U.S. American football? I don't remember, folks. I did think I watched it. I'm pretty sure I saw a baseball game at the Metrodome, although now they all use the freaking U.S. American Stadium or U.S. It's not U.S. Bank, not U.S. American. It's U.S. Bank, I think. But anyway. Now he's inviting you to talk in a more direct manner. You attempt to overcome your physical reaction to him and reply as casually as you can. What is wrong with me? Your mind keeps going back to that night when everything was changed forever. Waking up in hell with a body next to you. Spending a night in the underground sweatbox, unsure of what will happen next. That endless car ride, 3 strikes. Three strikes. A bloodthirsty crowd, that blade. A rebirth, a baptism by fire. A frightening executor, same difference, who made sure the flames guard your spirit. As you look into his face, you realize he's reading the emotions from yours. Not in the mood to exchange pleasantries. There's no animosity in his voice, he's just stating a fact. Let me get straight to the point, then. He momentarily stops caring about his surroundings, turning all of his attention to you, demanding the entirety of your attention in return. You see, there's something I've realized over the years. In large part, I may have been hired just to look menacing with a sword, but my job is all about seeing through bonds and relationships. The Camarilla would be safe as long as its members adhere to certain social contracts, making their dealings and affinities plain for everyone to see, but that obviously remains a pipe dream. This is a community of born conspirators, overly ambitious gangsters and politicians, monsters in denial, all sorts of tragically broken individuals. They are driven by desires that make them incompatible with the Masquerade, incompatible with prolonged survival of the Camarilla, incompatible with the methods I use to operate. And so I am doomed to be like a cop, constantly insulted behind my back, maybe for a good reason, but immediately called for help whenever someone loses their tableware. Gosh, he's so handsome. But you know, everyone, if he were gay, we would all have to picture him as a top, not as a bottom. Maybe he's versatile, or verse, or switch, or whatever people say nowadays. I don't really know. I don't know what gay guys say. I don't know anything, folks. Okay. When did I ever? The truth is never. Okay. Or like an Agatha Christie protagonist, outwardly assisted by everyone but constantly lied to about everyone's pasts and motivations, even if my failure to solve the mystery might be the end of us all. He tries to sound like he's peacefully resigned to his fate, but it's easy to detect a tinge of regret in his voice. A voice belonging to someone who once had bigger ambitions than this. What broke him? So you see, for this detective, the why done it is far more important than who done it or how done it. When you understand all the players and their mutual obligations, you easily understand every crime. But of course, the Kindred know it, so they devise ways to make my job much harder, just like conspiracies between two unrelated actors that depend on scratching each other's backs for mutual security. Or they enforce a blood bond to make someone unexpected their thrall, a boss serving their employee. A rebel serving a tyrant, just because one is regularly being forced to drink another's blood. Blood bond, a mystical enforced relationship between a vampire and another, mortal or kindred. Drinking the blood of a vampire directly from the vein 3 times creates an intense loyalty to the drinker, resembling infatuation or obsession. The bond loses its grip with time, but it is enforced by repeated drinks from the donor vampire. I remembered something I said. No, it had nothing to do with blood bond, but I remember something. I mentioned how, what's his face, the Nosferatu dude, said certain things based on who you play as. I got the wrong character. It's not him, which of course now I'm forgetting his name offhand. It's not that dude. It's a different guy that we'll see because of the story. He's the one that says different things based on who you are. And yeah, it's not that great for Lamar and Amanda. Eric, I think it's not cool. I mean, it's not cool for any of you, whoever you play, but especially isn't great for Lamar and Amanda. I'm so annoyed that we're not going to be doing Hope's stuff. It sucks. But whatever. Anywho. Hopefully we'll do Tamika's. You might be able to have 3 coterie members. I know you can have at least 2. Can you have 3? I don't remember. Yeah. Because usually I was doing the other side quest stuff as well. What has Sophie seen in you? Why does the prince keep asking me about your actions? How come you're being pushed to build your own coterie so fast? That's a very good question. You are surrounded by unclear motivations which you yourself don't understand. That unnerves me, and it should unnerve you as well. Oh, and what are your motivations? Finally, you manage to raise your voice. Kadir notices the effort and smiles softly. So you haven't gone mute since the last time I saw you. Good. Well, I'm here for a selfish reason. I need to develop a rapport with you to better fulfill my obligations. The last time we met, I couldn't see you as my equal. Now that you've been accepted into the Camarilla, what choice do I have? I'd understand if you don't want to see my face again. No! I want to see your face again. Okay, that's not Lamar speaking. But I'm one of the faces of the New York City community, and as long as you're a part of it, it's going to be impossible to avoid me. Especially when he's wearing such a nice suit. I mean, he likes baseball, but I can get over that. It's fine. Not saying sports is bad, folks. It's just meh. Can't you like video games, Kadir? You're not La Sombra. You can play video games. It's true. Anyway. Especially when I have business with you, and I do. As you might have guessed by now, one of my tasks is uncovering and understanding your bonds, and one of them might endanger our community. Excuse me. Excuse me. Yeah. Well, that's not menacing at all. Who's he talking about? Well, guess, buddy. Kaiser, that's his name. Is this about Kaiser? Kadir shakes his head. That leper is bad news if you ask me, but who doesn't trade information with him these days? No, they're not a major player. He produces a file from underneath his coat and passes it to you. This is our troublemaker. You open the file and see some printed photos. You freeze up as you recognize the face and are overwhelmed by a flood of repressed memories. Emma. The only person who's kept you hanging on through all these years. The only person you have in your corner in your never-ending fight against the world. You've kept your shit together so far. Tried not to think about her until you got everything sorted out, but seeing her face brings a lump in your throat. Dang it! I had to chase chest. You look up at Kadir, expecting answers. Do I really want to play the second game before I leave? For back to the USA? Seriously. I'll be frank. At first I thought you were a total commercial failure. Someone destined to eventually disappear from the streets of New York without a trace or one soul to care. Well, thanks, Kadir. Fuck you. But it looks like your sister is the best guardian one could ask for. Lots of friends in high places and lots of favors to collect. The word is she'll do anything to get you back. The risk of endangering us is relatively low, but far from non-existent, which means your sister must be stopped. Must be stopped sounds threatening. You dread thinking what he's planning. I'll arrange for you two to meet tomorrow night. No, meet... Close enough! I'll arrange for you two to meet tomorrow so that you can straighten the situation out and say goodbye to the life you've forsaken. You arrange... What? Your eyes must look like saucers right now. Usually, these matters are left to my discretion, and I can't think of an easier solution. The lost sheep reappears, takes care of unfinished business, and disappears, never to be seen again. Nobody cares. It's simple. It's clean. No contrived schemes. No unnecessary victims. And it gives me an opportunity to learn more about you as I observe. When neonates interact with kind they used to hold dear, their true natures are laid bare for everyone to see. A young kindred, recently embraced but more than a fledgling. So I'm a neonate now? Well, I mean, it's been over a month. I think it's... Actually, no, it's a night, not a week. It's been over a week. A month. 7 days. 8 days now. Of course he's invested in being kind to you. Or he's making clear his self-serving intentions so that you don't start figuring them out yourself. Any objections? Any alternatives are probably worse. You shake your head. Very well. I'll arrange a meeting and drive you there tomorrow. Better come up with a load of bull that's easy to swallow. He disappears from the apartment, leaving you as confused as the last time he closed the door on you. God damn it, you need to think it through. For a long time you just sit in your haven, lost in your thoughts, trying to come up with lies that will convince the only person who's ever seen the real you. Ah, lovely. Upon return to your haven, you find a small scrap of paper lying on your windowsill. Need a favor. If you're still up for it, come meet me in Prospect Tam. Yes. Once again, you cross the gate of Prospect Park and head straight for where you last saw the feral duo. Minutes pass, finding no sign of Tamika, you begin to worry that something might have happened to her. Suddenly, you hear rustling coming from the nearby bushes, and it's not the stray cat kind of rustling either. Hey, you in the bushes, you know I can hear you, right? The rustling stops, if only for a second. Suddenly the bushes part and Raul walks out, desperately trying to look confident. Yeah, that's only because I wanted you to. Aww. Poor. Most of the men look handsome in this game, I will say. Oh, Dark. You're a sad... Anyway. Listen, I wanted to have a word before Tam gets here. She seems to like you for whatever strange reason, but the way I see it, you're a nuisance at best. At worst, you're a threat. I get it. You don't like me. Forgive me if I don't lose any sleep over it. You should be, because when I don't like someone, I do something about it, and it's usually not pleasant. Tamika is my sister. In every sense of the word, that counts. Word that counts. Okay, so they're actual siblings. And, obviously, vampire, Anything happens to her that I find even remotely your fault, coming after you. Is that clear? I'm not your enemy or Tamika's. I don't think you understand. I don't give a fuck what you think you are. What I'm saying is, if anything happens to Tamika, I'm holding you accountable. All of a sudden, the sound of footsteps reaches your ears. It's just faint enough to not be ostentatious, but still loud enough to hear. You can tell that whoever's approaching wants to make their presence known. Both you and Raul turn just in time to see Tamika emerge from behind an old sycamore tree. It's hard to tell just how long she's been listening in on your conversation. In any case, she walks up and speaks, addressing no one in particular. Did I miss anything? Nothing too important. We were just having a chat. Where are you now? She gives Raul a scornful look, like she's about to rub his nose in his own crap. What about? Nothing. You know where to look for me, Tam. Sure do. And with that, Raul takes his leave. Tamika waits in silence, just long enough to make sure he can no longer hear her, and addresses you. I have a favor to ask. I was reading that right. For you, anything. Okay, what is it? I have an errand to run. Was hoping you'd come with me. There's a place east of here. It's a short walk. We should be back in about 2, maybe 3 hours. That's a short walk? Fuck that. Anyway. Here we go. 3 hours, huh? You call that a short walk? Sorry. I'm used to much longer distances than that. I've forgotten how everyone is. You think you can handle it? Sounds kind of shady. Should I expect trouble? You should always expect trouble. But I'm not planning to start any. And so you head toward the parking lot, accompanied by Tamika and a lot of unanswered questions. she's the only one that I believe you don't see a face in a car because she doesn't drive, obviously. I think D'Angelo drives. Pretty sure he drives. I could be wrong. Maybe he doesn't have. No, maybe he does. Oh, I don't know. I thought he does. I know Hope does. Ugh, man, I'm so annoyed. But whatever. If you really want to see Hope joining your coterie, you can find it on YouTube, probably. Or play the game yourself. I mean, it's on Steam, it's on Nintendo Switch, it's on, obviously, PlayStation Network. 4/5 because playing 4 games. And probably an Xbox One and X, I assume. I don't really know, because I don't mess with Xbox stuff, so yeah. Following Tamika's directions, you finally arrive at the Evergreen Cemetery, one of the oldest burying grounds in Brooklyn. You enter through the southwestern gate and follow your companion through the sea of tombstones. What's on your tombstone? Okay, anyway. Oh, I am so sad. I bet they don't even play any of those commercials anymore. Ugh, commercials are now all digital. That's not true. There's still people who watch cable, but yeah, for the most part. It's a nice enough place as far as gravestones go, much less homogenized than the usual flat field littered with identical markers. Tamika confidently presses on, swerving and weaving along a pre-programmed path. It's clear that she's been here more than a few times. Finally, she makes a sharp left and takes a few more steps down a gravel walkway, coming to a sudden stop in front of a modest headstone. The inscription reads, Luca Santiago, beloved sister and daughter, born in 1991, taken from us too soon. With her eyes fixed on the gravestone, she lets out an absent-minded utterance. I need a moment alone. Not long, 5 minutes at the most. You look around in search of a good spot to wait for her and pass the time, and at the far end of a nearby lawn, you notice a lone bench situated under a weeping willow. Suddenly you hear voices, distant but slowly approaching. Judging by the tone and timbre, you're guessing it's a couple of teenagers out to get their late-night kicks among the dearly departed. Might be a good chance to feed. Then again, you could just pass the time walking around the area. It's actually quite nice in a dark, somber kind of way. Feeding opportunity! Suck off those teenagers! Take your time. I think I'll go grab myself a drink. Just do it quietly. I don't want any trouble. Not here. You leave Tamika alone and follow the voices. Soon enough, you come upon a couple in their late teens. Judging by the thick eyeliner and their clothes, consisting mostly of black leather and lace, you'd venture a guess that they love nothing more than to be an actual vampire. Oh god, I'm going to have moody angst, emo blood in me. Ugh, gross. I could say that, folks. As I've mentioned before, I was rather emo. I mean, I didn't dress it, but boy, did I have a lot of it. Ugh. I mean, more so prior to some certain events. Well, a certain event that occurred, I will say, as an 11th grader. But yes. Hit the wrong button. But yes, I was rather emo. Okay, I hit some other button and went back. Okay. You're happy to oblige. As you emerge from the shadows, you can feel your awe intensify. Awe, not awe, but it's probably the same thing here. The boy and the girl watch you, completely awestruck. Yeah, there we go. Waiting for you to approach. The slightest gesture is enough to shoo the boy away. He sits on a nearby bench and watches, completely enamored as your lips press against the girl's neck. It's a weird sensation to feel actual, honest-to-good pride in a victim's blood, but here you are. She's glad to have been chosen in this way. You decide there's no good reason to discriminate and also take a sip from the guy. His BO is pretty terrible. Ah, man! But the taste of his blood isn't half bad. Why? Really? Freaking body odor. Hoping the team. It's like right now when it's humid and crap out, and it's rainy season. It didn't rain today, folks. That's why I got my dry cleaning handed out or turned out and went eyeglass shopping. Although I'm gonna have to pick up my dry cleaning on Friday. Yeah, they have a quick turnaround. And technically, I could pick up my glasses like on Friday too, but one of them is going to come in next week, so I'm going to be picking them up next week sometime on the 9th or the 10th. But it's all going to be raining, so yeah, it's going to suck. I have to figure out what I'm going to do Friday because I'm going to be coming. I'm going to have to make sure to take the bus back and not. Yes, I'm going off on a tangent, folks. I know. I have to take the bus back and not a taxi back after acupuncture and massage therapy. And actually, that's before this stream. Go figure. And I need to. What I'm going to do, I think, is I have some big bags. I'm going to take one of the big bags, make a hole in the top, so that like whatever because I think they give me like crappy hangers to use. I'm going to use those and put them all the clothes in the bag. I only gave them 10 articles of clothing, 6 pants, dress pants, 4 dress shirts, I think. So yeah, that should be fine. Also, I just realized I need to message the part-time dry cleaner in the dormitory now because I'm pretty sure I still have some clothes from her that I need to pick up. I also need to pay her because I had a lot of clothes that I gave her and I never paid her because she was saying until she's finished with the other stuff. I'm like, I want to pay you before I forget, and I need my stuff before I leave. But yeah, that's a different thing. I gotta make sure I message her. I forgot. I messaged like a whole bunch of people today. I'm not someone who likes to message on. I don't like text messaging. Don't fit my generation. Don't fit my generation for a lot of things. But yeah, it's gonna rain on Friday. I don't like walking in the rain. This is when I kind of wish I have a car. I say that when it's snowing, when it's raining, when it's freaking hot. The point of why I was saying it's really hot out of here is because I have body odor when I'm out and about. Which is why I don't like going out and about, which doesn't help when you're trying to lose weight. Oh well, no, if I'm really trying at the moment because of everything. But yeah, it sucks. That's the thing. Pretty sure I didn't have that much body odor. Even as a teenager, I don't think I had a lot of body odor. I didn't actually break out in zits and everything. I only started getting zits when I was working at Subway. Eat fresh, or whatever they say, fresh and tasty, or fresh and whatever now, I guess. But it was eat fresh when I was growing up. But yeah, that's the only time I got zits because of the visor over my forehead. I also got them again when I worked at Panera Bread in university. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in my 20s and I have zits again. What the fuck, But yeah, it's because of the visor stuff. And I guess not really properly cleaning it. Although I don't know how. I guess you put talcum powder on it, baby powder on it, maybe, or something. I don't know. Whatever. The point is, yeah, I was not. I personally don't think I was a gross teenager, but who knows? Maybe I was. I don't know. I was thinner compared to now. Although most people, at least at my age group, wouldn't have told me so. I thought I was fat. I'm just fatter now. Anywho, hoping the teens' post-kiss days will make your face just an impression in their memory. You leave them on the bench just as they let their excited hormones run wild and start making out furiously. Jesus, stupid teenagers. They're late teenagers too, so that means they're either 17, 18, or 19. Dear Lord. You have expect Kadir to materialize, sword in hand, to deal with these loose ends, or with you for leaving them to roam like you did. You'll need to be more careful in the future. Whatever I need to be healthier. Finally, you get back to the treat and find Tamika sitting on the bench. Without a word, you sit next to her. You look over to her. doing her best not to stare. She looks down, crossing her arms and putting her hands on her shoulders. In an instant, the ferocious savage disappears, replaced by a vulnerable young woman. I think I'm done. We'll do this option. You feel like sharing? No, but I guess I owe you an explanation. She looks away. You can tell she's struggling to open up to you, so you remain silent, trying not to make her uncomfortable. I was embraced not far from here, in this cemetery. A fitting spot, I suppose. It was close to a decade ago. I've been on the road for a couple of years at that point, hitchhiking from one town to another. New York was supposed to be just another stop. And then I met Jezebel. She was strong, smart, independent, seemed like someone I could trust, someone I could get close to. She never made me feel inadequate or ashamed, and she could hold her own in a fistfight too. Funny thing though, she only wanted to meet during nighttime. I didn't think much of it, even came up with excuses for her. Busy, eccentric, whatever worked. Until one night she sank her teeth into my neck. A fighter, a lover, an undead abomination. She sounds like quite a gal. She was. I honestly learned more about her after she was gone. She was the real deal, an old-school gang girl, a veteran of the Battle of New York. She looks away and grows reticent for a brief moment. Anyway, she left soon after turning me. I think the Conclave of Prague really shook her up. Wait, the Conclave of what now? Prague. It's a city in Central Europe. No, I don't want to sound that dumb. Okay, it was supposed to be neutral ground, a good place to discuss politics and strategy, and it ended up almost turning into a civil war. Next thing you know, the anarchs were expunged from the Camarilla. All they had done for our kind, the blood they spilled, it didn't amount to a thing. Or anything, same difference. Which is what I was trying to come out of my mouth. I can't blame Jezebel for feeling betrayed, but yeah, even though I still had Raoul and Luca, I was still furious and terrified. Luca died a few years later. Operation Lights Out, they called it. It was a coordinated assault by the Second Inquisition, a genocide by any other name. Her family got together, bought up a plot and buried an empty casket. I guess they wanted some closure. Can't fault them for that. Wait, so they knew that she was alive? Huh. Even though she's not really here, I like to come and visit from time to time. It reminds me of who I am. Keeps me in check. Keeps the beast at bay. Also, this being the place of my embrace, you have to appreciate that level of irony. She straightens up and looks at you as if something just occurred to her. Sorry, I don't know what came over me. One minute I'm all grunts and stares, the next I'm giving you my biography. I guess I'm just tired of being scared, alone. You're looking for a place to belong. In all the wrong places, it seems. At this point, I'm just looking for something to believe in, someone I could give a damn about. Let's do that one. You always have Raoul. She smiles sadly. Will I? Don't get me wrong, Raoul's my brother. The bond between us is not easily broken. But he's got ideas and ambitions of his own. He won't always be there to watch my back. I can't expect that of him. You open your mouth, but before you can make a sound, Tamika motions at you to keep quiet. She lifts her head and sniffs at the air. Her ears perk up and her eyes widen. Suddenly, she pushes you with all of her strength, sending you flying off the bench. Before you even hit the ground, an immense shape flies into view and smashes down into the bench, splintering it into pieces. With the blood surging through your veins, you pounce onto your feet. You look at the massive firm muscles that just nearly pulverized you. The creature rears its head. Gives you a deranged stare. It then turns to Tamika. She seems utterly terrified, frozen in place as if she literally just saw a ghost. You notice the creature shift its weight as if preparing to pounce. Before the monster can attack Tamika, you let out a savage yell, drawing its attention to you. Before you know it, you're lying on your back, feeling as if someone just dropped a 16-ton weight on your chest. The smell of wet fur fills your nostrils. It takes a second for the pain to register, but when it does, oh boy, your screams echo off the surrounding tombstones. It's unlikely they have awoken the dead, but a few might have stirred in their slumber. Suddenly, the beast still crouched on top of you, lets out a pained roar. In a flash of consciousness, you see Tamika hunched atop the monster's shoulders, her claws plunged into its eye sockets. Floundering like a fish out of water, the monster finally manages to shake the feral Valkyrie off his back. And you know it's a he. You see its penis and testicles? I mean, I don't get it. The creature then turns towards you. For a second or two, it moves its mouth awkwardly as if trying to remember how to form words. Stay out my ground. The creature runs off toward a nearby clearing when all of a sudden a gunshot sends it tumbling onto the ground. Whoa! Oh! A group of well-armed men in body armor emerge from the shadows in an orderly formation and move in close around the creature. We're going to do that. I don't trust them. Not sure what to make of what's happening, you figure it's best to get out of sight. As you start backing away from the nearby bushes, you notice Tamika following your lead. From the relatively safety of the thick foliage, you watch in silence as a group of armed men subdue the creature using steel nets and cattle prods. In the corner of your eye, you catch Tamika looking away no, it's an if, probably. It looks like it's cut, because it doesn't look like a normal T, so yeah, it's an F. Yeah, as if she finds this whole spectacle somehow distasteful. I mean, it is. She speaks under her breath, her voice shaking. Can we get out of here? You see no reason to object. The walk back turns out to be a quiet and somber experience. You both walk in silence, the city a blur of lights and cars careening by. You look over to Tamika. She seems lost in her thoughts. Finally, you decide to break the silence. Do you have any idea who those guys were? They looked like they knew what they were doing. They did. They spend their whole lives either training or hunting our kind. They're the Second Inquisition. Bum bum bum. It's been a while since I saw them operating in New York. I would never expect them to go after the scarred one. Hell, until today, I wasn't even sure he existed. The scarred one? That's the only name he's known by. He's a cautionary tale for a young gangrel. He's what happens when you let the beast take over. I think it's for any vampire, though. But probably looks more like a beast for gangrel. I forgot if it was a vampire that got taken over by his or her beast, or if it was a werewolf. But I was thinking, I don't think it's a werewolf, because I don't think they have werewolves in the visual novel games. Well, I don't know about the third one that will be coming out. Maybe there are in the third one. And this isn't Swan Song. Fuck. I wonder if that was an extra chapter because I let him out. God damn it. After I push the button, it's like, okay, you have to go back now with what's her name. And I'm like, this is my third no, fuck this. Just let the two vampire ladies die. I'm sorry. Oh, I can't figure out how to crack this. Fuck a duck. Seriously. I always figured him to be more of a metaphor. Seeing him in real life, it's like if a Christian just happened to run into Judas Iscariot one day. I didn't know that was Judas's last name. I've read this line, but of course I don't remember it because it's been over a year. But I was like, they all have last names? Of course they do. Okay. And seeing him hunted down by the SI, I don't know what to think. I don't even know what to start thinking, or where to start thinking. Deciding to give her some space, you spend the rest of the walk in silence. Soon enough, the familiar tree line of Prospect Park comes into view. You stop by the entrance nearest to Tamika's haven. She keeps walking without so much as a word or glance in your direction. She stops after several paces and turns back toward you. I'm sorry. Thank you for coming with me, but now I have a lot of shit to figure out. Once I do, I'll let you know. And with that, she disappears among the trees. Seeing no point in sticking around, you take your leave. And you go to bed. Knock, 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 knock. You would ask who's there, but you don't know if the sheriff of New York City would play along. When you open the door, you see him toying with the car keys he's holding in his hand. I've been sitting in one position for a while. You know what? F it. Dark is going to lie down on the sofa that may not be his for... That's only going to be his for another... What? 2 weeks or so? Actually, oh boy. Oh, that's gonna suck, actually. Oh yeah, that's gonna suck if that happens. One of my colleagues has claimed it. I really should charge, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to charge any of my colleagues for things, because I'm that type of guy. Well, person. I'm also a guy, but person. I will be, the only time I'm going to sell something is my computer. My desktop gaming PC. But everything else I'm probably just going to give away or donate or, yeah. I've decided I don't want to mess with Facebook Marketplace, if that's even a thing still in Korea. I thought they got rid of the one in Gwangju. But I know there's like a Korean app, but I'm like, I don't want to deal with an app and then trying to sell things. I'm just going to get rid of things. I'm just like, whatever. And the things in my office that aren't taken, professors will take it. Trust me. Well, if it's a good thing. Let me rephrase that. Some of the things I have, like when I got rid of a lot of other pens and stuff, like literally I went back out, I think I mentioned that, I went back out to bring more things to my bag that I had of stuff there, and it was already gone. I was like, oh my gosh, someone took it already. It wasn't the cleaning people, I can tell you that much. Ready to go, fledgling. I thought I was a neonate. You don't feel like it, but you give him a nod nonetheless. Excellent. Stay close. He leads you down to the vehicle he's parked nearby. Once again, he takes the wheel literally and figuratively. Everything inside is just the way you remember it, down to the rearview mirror reflecting the intense stare of your guide. However, the trip itself feels notably different. The last time Kadir drove you around, he was forcibly dragging you away from your old life. This time he's pulling you back into it. Let me tell you how it's going to go. As I said, I've arranged a meeting between you and your kin. It's going to take place somewhere you should know very well. Oh gosh, not the art gallery. I'll watch over you two from a safe distance to make sure you adhere to the rules. You should know those very well, but I'll reiterate just so you can't ever say I didn't warn you. Don't do anything that would violate the masquerade. Don't establish some secret routes of contact. I will know. Do treat it as the last time you two will meet. Take this chance to wrap everything up. I wonder if you can get a game over here. You probably can. I think there are 2 places that you could possibly get a game over, and those are probably the 2 trophies that I don't have, which I'm not going to do. To probably get a game over, because I did look it up. I have 80% of trophies completed for this. There is no platinum trophy for this, which I'm like, boo. But I am missing 2 trophies. There's a total of 12, I believe. And there are 2 that are hidden that I don't know about. They don't show it. You know, it's so weird. They have like some trophies are hidden. I'm like, what? Why? Why do you have some hidden trophies, some that are not hidden, that you can read? It's so weird. Like either hide them all or don't have any hidden, you know, so you can read what you need to do to get the trophy. It's like, come on now, pick one or the other. Don't do a mixture. I don't like when they need to just not have trophies and achievements and whatever stupid other crap. Be like Nintendo. That's why there's no games. No, certain types of games on there, not on other places. Anyway, do treat it as the last time you two will meet. Take this chance to wrap everything up. Here's your story. You're fine, found yourself at a crossroads, decided to radically change your life, and move out of the city. The subway is unbearable. The rent is too high. They've heard it all. However, you wouldn't leave for good without saying farewell to the only person who cared. He gives you a compassionate stare. Really? Is that a compassionate stare in that rearview mirror? It's going to leave a scar, boy, but a true artist knows those are not something to hide, but to display with pride. I like what he says to you when you're Amanda, and I like what you can do when you're Amanda to your because each person, I forget what Eric has. I mean, Eric is, I don't know, Eric is I just don't remember Eric. I remember Lamar and I remember Amanda, but I don't remember Eric. Was Eric the last person I played as when I was playing this alone? I don't remember. I just don't remember offhand. I'm sure it will come back if I were to play as him. But I just don't remember right now who his person is. That, you know, you leave off with unknown, or unfinished business, or unknown, or unfinished, like, well, business, I guess. But a true artist knows those are not something to hide, but to display with pride. Oh, you rhymed. You're a fresh corpse. People you meet can still leave a mark on you. One night, a long time from now, you'll realize you miss collecting new wounds. I feel like you're talking from experience, sirrah. The car makes a sudden turn. I'll leave the final details to you. Just be so kind and don't make me regret this, or regret it. Same difference. You can sense he's going out of his way for you, but doesn't try to force you into gratitude by stating it plainly. If you know, you know. He'll see if you are worthy of his aid. We're here. You take a look around and recognize your destination. He was right. It is a familiar place. It's right next to that exhibition space, the one where you met your future sire. This is where you saw Emma for the last time. This is where they last saw poor Lamar. Who knows whatever might have happened to him? That's what your sister is trying to find out. I took the liberty of messaging her in your stead. She's up there waiting for you to come and explain yourself. He turns off the engine and relaxes comfortably in his seat. You silently leave the car and head straight for the exhibition space. The elevator ride up just doesn't seem to end. After what feels like 5 hours, but in reality is closer to 30 seconds, you finally reach your floor. Emma's standing there looking at the painting. She's trying to act carefree, but is holding onto her bag a little too tightly. When she hears your footsteps, she's startled. Then she sees you, and her eyes immediately fill with tears. She runs up to you and gives you a hearty hug. Forgot what voice I gave her. God damn it, Lamar! God damn it! You stay in her arms silent for a little while. The bonds of blood run deep. This feels right. You're so cold. What happened to you? You look into her eyes and start searching your heart for a lie that would satisfy her, if only a little bit. I want to say I love you, but that's not good. So you see, I met this man, and he was interested in art I make, and he was from the other side of the world. You stop mid-sentence. It's perfectly obvious that you're not exactly telling the truth, and her expression makes it obvious that she knows. What happened, Lamar? Or what happened? Lamar, talk to me. All the life-saving work she's sent your way, from that concept artist job to this very exhibition. I've been losing my mind. Talked to literally everybody I know to ask when the last time they saw you was. All the time she helped you get your shit together. I've always been honest with you. The least you can do is return the favor. She has, and she absolutely deserves to know, but she can't. Kadir is waiting downstairs. Lamar! Her voice startles you. Your first instinct is to run. And like the beast you become, you trust it. Lamar? You can't do this. Not now, not like this. She watches as you, Kindred, an undying creature of the night, zoom away from her, run into the elevator and press the ground floor button. This might be the last time you ever see each other. At least look her in the eye and force yourself to tell her one last thing. Yeah, Lamar's is kind of Amanda's, mwah. It's so great. But yeah, Lamar. Oh, Lamar. Don't search for me. For your and my own good. She's too stunned to react as the elevator doors close. You slide down the wall, hiding your face in your arms. You find your own priorities disgusting, but what gets you down the most is not the fact that you failed to give closure to the only person you cared about. It's more that you failed to make this farewell beautiful. It makes you feel like a failure of an artist. And even with all this newfound power, you still can't express yourself through the canvas of your life. You're still stuck in your old ways. But you know, Em, she'll take the pain you've caused her and use it to make art that resonates, that sells. What if authentic trauma is... okay, I read part of the question and then I saw the rest of it. What if authentic trauma is the best gift you could find to repay all her generosity? Jesus Christ, you're disgusting if you consider all of those emotions commodities. No wonder you're a failure as an artist. The elevator doors open. Better run while she's still up there. Back to Kadir's car. Once you close the door, he instantly puts his foot on the gas pedal. Walking off the pitch with no regrets? Said everything you had to say. Kadir sighs. Yeah, that's what I gathered from here. I'll keep an eye on the situation, placate her somehow if she won't stop looking. I've got some well-tested methods, non-violent, of course. He gives you a good stare via the rear-view mirror. You're an artist, aren't you? You nod half-heartedly. So you of all people should know that things never work out the way you plan. There could always be more time to plan, tools that could help you execute it better. Perfection is just an accident. The only thing you could do is give it your best shot given the circumstances and immediately move on to the next thing. When all is said and done, regret is nothing but narcissism and a waste of time. Sophie, your coterie, those are the materials you've been given, and they're potent ones. Make the best use of them so that they might create something more beautiful than your artist's tools ever did. And as a side note, I envy you. I wish I still had someone to make my knees feel like jelly. Even when you can't see them anymore, just knowing they're there keeps you in touch with what you once were. So you're really old. You're an old dude. That's what I'm gathering. The car speeds up to cross an intersection before the light turns red. You give Kadir a good hard look. Thanks. I said thank you. It doesn't feel like how do you call it, a very vampire thing to say, but you say it nonetheless. He's visibly taken aback, and his usual furrowed brow smooths out for a moment. Then he takes on a serious, slightly sorrowful expression. Don't suck up to me, kid. Mr. Bad Guy is still here, and without a doubt, he will go back to decapitating suckers like you anytime now. Car starts slowing down. We're here. You look out the window and see your haven. Take care. I'll see you around. Just pray I don't have to see you too often. Well, if I was with D'Angelo, you would. And that's a fact, Jack. But not in a bad way. You leave the car and start walking to your haven, thinking about Kadir. Can't say you're fond of him. I am! What, with the welcome he gave you and all. But after tonight, you can't say you aren't either. Gosh, I need water. Ugh. You're gonna need some more time to understand him, that's for sure. What is there to understand? He's attractive. That's all that he needs to know. A tapping on the window, or the Battle of the Cloisters. A tapping on the window, a small grayish bird flying off. A small piece of paper left on the windowsill. Prospect, ASAP, Tam. As you open the blinds, you're able to spot a small grayish bird flying off into the night. Looking down, you notice a small piece of paper on the windowsill. Prospect, ASAP, Tam. The time's a charm, you think to yourself as you once again cross the gate of Prospect Park and head for Tamika's haven. To your surprise, you find her out in the open, sitting on the lawn, surrounded by a host of woodland creatures, birds and squirrels mostly. The critters each patiently await their turn as she flicks seeds at them. It looks almost whimsical in a twisted sort of way. Hey, you wanted to see me? Yeah, I did. She scatters the remaining seeds onto the grass and hops to her feet. I've been doing some digging. The Inquisition has a safe house up in Manhattan. I think that's where they're keeping him. The scarred one, I mean. I want to pay them a visit. Kill that thing and as many of those SI bastards as I can along the way. Attacking the government safe house. Correct me if I'm wrong, but wouldn't that be considered a breach of the Masquerade? Yeah, and that's the least of our worries. Throw in a legion of armed goons standing in our way and an all-powerful vampire as the cherry on top. Look, I'm not stupid. I know it's risky as hell, and I'm well aware I might not be coming back. Still, it's something I have to do, with or without your help. Just out of curiosity, does Raul know about this master plan of yours? Ah, shit. He does now. He emerges from the shadows a mere few feet away from you. Son of a gun finally managed to sneak up on you. Tamika eyeballs him as he gets closer. You've seen that look before. She's clearly asserting her position, but this time it comes off as a formality rather than an actual challenge. How long have you been there, Raul? Long enough. I'm still not buying that whole scarred one bull crap, but taking a bite out of the Inquisition's collective ass is just too good to pass up. I want in. Who are you going to believe if not your sister? Why would she lie to you? I never said she was lying. More like exaggerating just enough to keep me away from the action. Because, you know, little old me couldn't possibly look after himself. Now can we move this along? I'm itching to kill me some SI fucks. Tamika? Tamika, you've got an opinion? Heh, guess I know who the alpha is around here. Shut the fuck up. I should have expected that, actually. It's kind of funny. He should come with us. He's got the right to be there. to see the sacred one with his own eyes. Scarred one, not the sacred one. Wrong type of vampire. Actually, I don't think there's technically a guy who's kind of trying to be holy. I haven't gotten to his second part yet. Plus, my brother can be a pain in the ass, but he's one hell of a fighter. There you go. Tam's seal of approval. It's settled in. Let's go. Fucking finally. And with that, you leave the relative safety of Prospect Park, steeling yourself for combat, for things to come. As you get closer to your destination, you get the sneaking suspicion that Tamika's been pulling your leg. Following her lead, you take a turn from Broadway into Fort Tryon Park. I don't know. Okay. Doesn't seem to make sense, you think to yourself. There's only one spot between here and the Hudson River, but it can't be, can it? You don't think it's a religious order? Sure enough, as the stone facade of the cloisters come into view, Tamika motions at you to keep out of sight. How the hell is this well-known tourist trap a hideout for the Second Inquisition? What's underneath? Wait, isn't this place a tourist attraction? Only during the day. At night, it serves as a staging ground for the Inquisition. If my sources are to be trusted, and they usually are, they brought him here for what they call processing. Doubt they'll keep him here for long, though. If we want to get to him, it's now or never. As if on cue, a group of armed guards walk out of the museum, pushing a gurney with a large steel container on top of it. As they wheeled it out into the open, a truck approaches. The operatives start preparing to load the crate onto the vehicle. You scan the area, trying to take a head count. Tamika beats you to it. I count at least 7, probably more inside. We should do this quietly and take them out one by one. Of course he does. Raoul frowns. I say we go in guns blazing, figuratively speaking. If there's more inside, let them come. The more the merrier. I don't want to do that. Let's try the stealthy approach. Tamika's right. We should go in quietly, take them out one by one. Tamika nods in silence. Ugh, fine. Let's do this already, before you two bore me to final death. You split up, aiming to cover as much ground as possible. Sticking to the shadows, you advance, keeping track of one another's progress. You hardly even notice as Tamika takes out the first guard, not a peep out of him. Trying to keep up, Raoul kills the one to your left. He's sloppy, taking his sweet-ass time bleeding the guy out. Jesus. With his dying breath, the man lets out a yelp, drawing the attention of one of his comrades. With the guard fast approaching, you ponder your options. Wait, what? As the guard walks by, you leap out of the shadows and use the sharpest weapon you have on you, your fangs, to slice his throat open. With his windpipe severed, he lets out a silent gurgle as he expires. Carefully, you lay his dead body on the dirt. Looking to the side, I think the last time I may have choked him out and that caused some alarm, but I could be wrong. Looking to the side, you notice Raoul looking back at you. He nods, looking almost semi-impressed. Jesus. 3 down, 4 to go. You keep a steady pace, moving across the courtyard, picking off the guards one by one. Tamika does her part. 3 to go. Raoul gets messy again. At least this time he's quiet. With only 2 of them left, you pick one for yourself and gesture at one of your fellow pharaohs to take care of the rest. Tamika's quieter, but Raoul's closer. Which one will you choose? Fuck. I'll let Raoul do it. You nod to Raoul. That's all the encouragement he needs. You can see him grinning like an idiot as he sneaks up on one of the guards. The grin soon turns out to be very fitting. Instead of dispatching the enemy quickly and quietly, Raoul gleefully taps him on the shoulder. As soon as the guy turns around, the pharaoh slashes him across the face, feeling the gooey warmth of his own eyeballs on his cheeks. The man lets out a blood-curdling scream. I think I might have done Tamika last time, but like something screws up. Because I think this happens regardless of whoever you choose. You know, it's like a forced choose your own adventure, which is not really a case. But yeah, anyway. Startled, the final guard turns towards you. As all three of you approach him, the dire reality of the situation hits him like a ton of bricks. Paralyzed with fear, he keeps shifting his aim from you to Tamika to Raoul. He is severely fucked and he knows it. And since you're standing closest to him, you might as well do the honors. No, feeding opportunity. You walk over to the ring mess that mere moments ago thought himself the toughest of the tough. Before he can react, you slap the gun out of his face, lean in and smile. Hi. Half a second later, your fangs are already halfway to his windpipe. The blood tastes sour, bleh, with a hint of cowardice and regret. Could have gone out with a bang, chose to go out with a gurgle. Oh well. With the SI operatives taken care of, you turn your attention to the container sitting in the middle of the courtyard. Using your combined strength, you make quick work of the steel door. As you walk, what's my battery power, by the by? Okay, 2 pellets out of 3. As you walk in the moonlight from behind you, as you walk in, the moonlight from behind you illuminates a twisted figure huddled on the floor. It's hard to believe that the thing lying before you, beaten and tortured within an inch of its own life, is the same creature you fought back at the cemetery. What the fuck is that thing? That's what happens when you lose control, when you let the beast take over. His lips move silently as if searching for the right words. He looks to you, then turns to his sister as if waiting for a sign. For a moment, Tamika just stands there. She looks down at the scarred one, the once fearful boogeyman, whose very mention could strike terror in the hearts of her tribe, now reduced to a whimpering pile of flesh. Finally, she turns to you with a look of childish innocence mixed with confusion. Then she looks back at the scarred one. You can tell she's lost. Tam? Tam? What the hell are you waiting for? Let's kill this thing and get out of here. This is your choice. I can't make it for you. She turns to you with the look of pride mixed with desperation. I'm not asking you to. Do it, Tam. You know he deserves it. Hell, looks like you'll be doing him a favor. What does that mean? He made his choice a long time ago. You don't have to. I'll just do the second option. Do whatever you will. Just be ready to live with the consequences. Suddenly, the very air around you seems to thicken. You look over to Tamika. She's not quivering anymore. She walks up to the scared one. Jesus. Pick the right SC word. Dark. Although sacred is SA. Now I think about it. Pick the right S word. She walks up to the scarred one. The pitiful creature presses itself into the corner in a desperate and futile attempt to crawl away. Without a word, she grabs the creature by the ears, sinking her claws in the sides of his head. She looks him dead in the eye. Her voice is surprisingly warm, almost soothing. You can rest now, brother. No. In one fluid motion, she twists his neck off his shoulders. Oh my. The snapping sound is both sickening and satisfying. Why would I think satisfying? The empty husk of the once fearful beast falls to the floor like a slab of meat. Jesus, Tam, that was... What the hell was that? Hopefully some closure. Standing outside the steel container, the three of you take a moment to gather your thoughts. You look at one another, at the blood staining your hands, clothes, and faces. In the pale moonlight, it appears black and shiny, like a fresh ink stain on a fresh sheet of paper. Without another word, you head back toward the city lights. You know, I quite remember... Oh no, that's later. I was thinking, I thought I ran back from that, like with being shot at, but I'm thinking that might be some other incident. Or choice. Ugh. The journey back takes longer than it did in the other direction. Oh my, I have a phone call, folks. Hello? Yes. Good. Yourself? Okay. Mm-hmm. Excuse me, let me get my planner. You said Tuesday or Wednesday next week? Let's see here. How about the 9th? Yeah, Tuesday. I guess, still is 2 o'clock still okay? Alright. Okay. I don't know, it's fine. Yep, no problem. Okay, see you then. Bye. Sorry, folks. I was my counselor. We're changing the appointment time. Or day, actually. It's going to be the same time. Actually, while I'm writing this down, I'm realized that I should stop by my bathroom to brush my teeth and to do other things, folks. So once I finish writing this down, because yes, I do have my planner as I told him. You all heard me. I record my things live. Once I finish writing this down, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So it will be just a moment, folks. Yep. I use a planner. Just imagining. Next month, my planner will still be with me, one of the Korean possessions I have, and I'll be heading out with it to USA. Oh my gosh. It's coming up fast, folks. I just realized there was a keyboard here that I need to get rid of. Well, I've got multiple. Well, it's one of the. I wonder if I should take that keyboard with me. It is a Korean keyboard. No, Dark, don't take it with you. I already have a small one that I'll be taking because I have a small one that I will use for PS4 Pro and maybe 5. I don't know if there's anything I use for it, but yeah, I'm just gonna get rid of that one. I don't need it. To get rid of the other keyboard with my gaming PC. But anyway, I will be right back, folks. actually don't know how much you heard of my conversation with my counselor, but as kind of a side note, I'm so glad that Korea is a one-party state when it comes to giving permission for recordings. I'm seeing all the times I did that. Well, anyway, as another side note, as I've been getting used to finding out cities and towns, mostly towns, because come on, Midwest, of Iowa, I looked at where I have relatives from in one of the towns, and two things in that town on Google Maps actually are the businesses of two of my aunts. I'm saying aunt. I don't normally say aunt, so I don't know why I'm saying aunts. Aunts. And it's kind of interesting. I actually went to the website of one of my aunts and looked at her website for her business. Yep. It's interesting. Anywho, coming back to here, I think I read that. With bits and pieces of the Second Inquisition still stuck to your clothes, ew! You decided to play it safe by sticking to back alleys and cutting through the darker corners of the city. Tamika stays several steps ahead. Both you and Raoul are quite content to follow her lead. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, when I did this last time, there was gunfire, because I remember either Tamika or Raoul was seriously injured. So this was a better outcome than the last time I did this. And yeah, Tamika was still in my coterie. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Raoul that got injured. So yeah, this is different. You can tell that these last few nights have taken a toll on her, but not necessarily in a bad way. She seems stronger somehow, confident, more in tune with herself. Soon the awkward silence proves unbearable enough that you're willing to risk making small talk with Raoul. You think she's going to be alright? Yeah, I think so. She's just got to figure some stuff out. Our lineage, we have a special relationship with the beast. We can either let it control us or become attuned to it. It's a constant struggle, marked with difficult choices. I think Tam just made one of them. Pondering what you've just heard, the rest of the trip barely registers. To your surprise, you suddenly find yourself back at Prospect. Tamika keeps walking. She strides through the park gate like a queen of old, returning after a victorious conquest. You wanted to call out to her, but Raoul stops you with a gesture. Not yet. Give her some time to process all this shit. She'll let you know when she's ready. And hey, you did alright. I mean, don't get me wrong, you're still an asshole. But yeah, thanks. He smiles at you. Wonders never cease. Maybe he'll become a fuck buddy. See you around. Dark! What? Okay. And with that, he follows in his sister's footsteps. A weird smile creeps onto your face as you meld into the New York night. I get my second coterie member just in time? Oh no, I have to do one more thing. We'll do this and then maybe show up for one of these, because you can start another one, but then like it will just end up being meh. Oh, can you have 3 people? Now I'm wondering, I need at least 2. Wounded War Song. It's been some time since what Kindred historians would no doubt refer to as the Battle of Cloisters. Still, no word from Tamika. Maybe it's time you drop by and see how she's doing. Immediately, sometime is in the next night. Immediately after you enter the park, you can tell that something is wrong. An odd silence hangs in the air, like the silence from a choking victim after the fight leaves them. It doesn't take you long to find Tamika. You see her in the distance, leaning against a tree. As you make your way toward her, she puts her finger to her lips. Only then do you notice the blood dripping from her side. You pick her up, letting her lean on you. She looks at you, her eyes wild with fear and rage. Oh, this might be how I remember why I thought Raoul was hurt. I forgot this. They're here. The Inquisition. They found us. Raoul, he drew them away. Saved my ass. He's still out there. We need to go. We need to help him. You sure you're up to it? Looks like they banged you up pretty bad. A twinge of pain takes her breath away. Fine. Alright, but stay behind me. Don't take any chances. She looks up at you, gnashing her teeth in pain. Yeah, you dumbass. You need to suck off something quick. Through sheer force of will, she manages to straighten herself up. Let's fucking do this. You head deeper into the park. Soon you stumble upon a set of... My mind's not working! Soon you stumble upon a set of innocuous barriers. Service vehicles, black and yellow caution tape, men in work suits that keep the civilians out of a certain area. It's not all difficult for a creature of the night to avoid these. You'd almost think that their presence here is accidental, but once you spot black vans deeper in, you get a foreboding feeling. Tamika grabs your shoulder and squeezes hard. Hold up. There. You have to squint to see it. 2 SI scouts have taken tactical positions between the trees. There's no way in hell you'd have noticed them or hid in time if Tamika hadn't alerted you. Body armor, camo, not cameo. Camo, night vision goggles, rifles, and semi-auto shotguns. Some equipment you can't even name. The fact that I knew that much is amazing. These guys mean business. But Dark, you're from the USA. So what? It doesn't mean I know about that crap. Nor do I want to, folks. But you're from the Midwest. So what? Okay, anyway. There's no time. She's getting ready to just pounce on them. Consequences be damned. You need to think and fast. Yelling at the top of your lungs, you rush at the men, forcing both of them to focus their fire on you. The first one falls before he's able to pull the trigger. The second one takes aim. Suddenly you realize you might have bitten off more than you can chew. Flexively you squint, waiting for the bullets to tear through your flesh. To your surprise, no shots are fired. You open your eyes and see Tamika standing over your would-be assailant. She flicks her wrist, sprinkling the grass under her feet with the man's blood. Don't steal my kills. All things considered, she seems to be doing all right. You keep on moving. Tamika gestures at the nearest patch of trees. Stick to the shadows. Take him one at a time. You would think, well, in a real game, you wouldn't be healing. You heal at the start of a new scene, which is usually a play session, but it all depends. It's not always then. It could be at other times. Well, I say scene. It might be like after you've rested, technically. Or a new night, I guess. So it all depends. Depends on who's the person? I keep forgetting, and I should look it up. You know what? I'm gonna look it up because I haven't looked it up. Name for G. Wow. Name for I dislike smartphones so much. Name for GM in Vampire the Masquerade Masquerade. That's how I spell masquerade. I forgot how to spell it. Masquerade. TT or PG. Oh, is it storyteller? Oh, it might be storyteller. Storyteller, yeah. I'm looking at the White Wolf wiki. Yeah, it's storyteller. That's what it's called. ST. I don't know. That's what they shorten it to. I mean, technically it's one word, so it should be just S. But anyway, sound advice. You take it to heart as you move on towards Tamika's haven. Why did I move my phone right there? Put it right there, Dark. Doesn't take long for you to run across more of them. 3 operatives in full riot gear are running down a park alley, sweeping the area with barrel-mounted flashlights. Keeping very still and very quiet, you wait for them to approach. Tamika watches you from the bushes nearby, clearly waiting to follow your lead. I don't trust... She's wounded. I don't trust her to take 2. As the first victim marches past, you lunge at him, sinking your teeth in his neck. In one sudden motion, you rip a chunk of flesh from his throat. Quickly, before the other 2 can react, you run at them full speed. Just as you're about to take the first one out, Tamika pounces from the side, taking him out in an instant. As soon as she lands, she springs back toward the other one. A single slash of her claws is all it takes. The man's body falls to the ground. After a second or 2, his head follows. You raise an eyebrow at Tamika. She heads back with a roguish grin. 2-1. No time to save your victory. A savage yell rings out from across the tree line. You know that voice. Raoul. Tamika throws herself toward where it came from. It's almost unbelievable how fast she moves, considering the state she's in. You're barely able to keep up. Mere seconds later, you find yourselves under the cover of a rose bush, giving you a clear view of a nearby clearing. Off in the distance, you spot a group of gunmen converging. Slowly but surely, the circling hunters closes in on a lone figure struggling on the ground. The figure lets out a pained roar. Looking closely, you realize it's Raoul. Caught in the same steel net you saw used against the scarred one, he struggles frantically, trying to break free. With each passing second, step by step, the operatives close in around him. Driven by instinct, Tamika jerks forward to save her brother. She stops herself at the last moment, as if reminded of your presence. Okay, how do we do this? We're just gonna have to be fast and fierce. We go in fast and fierce. No, fierce, no messing around. Take him out as quickly as you can. She nods in approval. Sounds good. You move in like a 2-person SWAT team, staying low to the ground before you finally make your first move. The first 2 hunters meet their death. Unfortunately, it's enough for the other 2 to notice your presence. So much for the element of surprise. Well, we didn't say we were going to do that. Game. Come on now, pay attention to my choices. As two men turn towards you with their fingers already on the trigger, another 2 approach you, stabbing at the air with their cattle prods. Gosh darn it. I'll attack the close combatant hunters. Going for the low-hanging fruit, you engage the cattle prod wielding hunters. With some effort, you manage to avoid getting shocked, and within seconds, both of your opponents lie dead on the grass. Meanwhile, Tamika does her share. She swiftly avoids the gunfire and moves in for the kill. 4 bodies hit the ground, 2 vampires are still standing. Huzzah! You both turn towards the last remaining foe. Driven by sheer desperation, the sole surviving soldier stands over Raoul and aims his semi-automatic shotgun at his head. Tamika growls. You gesture at her to stand down. There's no room for mistakes here. A faint whisper escapes your lips and makes its way to Tamika's ear. On my mark. Be ready. With shaking hands, the gunman looks to you, then Tamika, as if warning you not to come any closer. It's mostly for show. He's fucked and he knows it. You bide your time, waiting for the right moment to signal to Tamika. Finally, you see an opening, a split second of hesitation. Before you can make your move, Raoul springs up, grabbing the man's gun. As they struggle, you and Tamika lunge toward the gunman. Fuck! I don't know if there's a way to save him, though. I don't know if there's a way to save him. I don't think there is. Because I'm pretty sure he died the last time I did this, too. Well, I can't check, because that save file gets deleted after you play it, apparently. A shot rings out. Raoul's body collapses under the weight of the steel net, his head a gaping hole. The operative looks at you, startled and confused. His eyes widen, seeing Tamika fly towards him. Death incarnate. Yeah, you're gonna die, buddy. Na 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 na, na 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 na. Hey, goodbye. And an echo screams. The man's screams echo across the park. She doesn't stop. Not when his intestines are spread on the grass. Not when his eyes turn to bloody holes. Not when his face turns to mush. Maybe he didn't die. I don't remember. Only when the screaming stops, only when it is certain he has met his cruel end. Only then does she stop. You watch in silence as she walks over to what's left of her brother. Falling to her knees, Tamika lets out a yell unlike any you've ever heard. It's as if she's been possessed by some wailing spirit, a banshee screaming out into the sky. Her scream echoes across the clearing until finally it all goes quiet. With tears streaming down her face, she looks up at you. It's my fault. I put us all in their sights. If it wasn't for me, he'd still... Clenching her fist, she pounds the ground in frustration. Fuck! It was his choice as well. He wasn't a child. He knew what could happen. She bows her head, pressing her chin into her chest. It's like she's processing what you just said, coming to terms with it. Finally, she looks up and gets back on her feet. She seems to have shed her despair, at least for the time being. Let's get out of here. Hastily yet carefully, you make your way out of the park. You don't stop until you reach a nearby alley. There, in the relative safety of the surrounding darkness, you take a moment to rest. Leaning against the wall, Tamika presses her hand onto her wound. Firing off the pain, she looks up at you. Let's split up. Less attention. Hunters, spotters on the rooftops. I'm not going anywhere. We need to get you patched up. I know a guy. We'll be fine. Knowing when it's time to fold, you nod and head toward the far end of the alley. After several steps, you look back to see how Tamika's doing. You smile, noting her absence. Having managed past a couple blocks without incident, you thank your lucky stars and blend into the nightly New York crowd. Hopefully, Tamika's made it out as well. Ugh. Well, I'm going to end it there, folks, because... I'm tired. I'm trying to remember... You know what? I need to check something. I have to know. I have to know if Raoul can be saved. I don't remember. Can Raoul... Okay, can I also type his name correctly? That'd be great. Can Raoul be saved in Vampire? Come on, pop up! In Vampire... You're not popping up. Gosh darn, I have to type the whole damn thing. In Vampire, the Masquerade Coteries of New York. Oh! That's what I did. The last time I chose the first option because I remember his head getting blown off. And I got his chest blown off. Apparently there is a way to save him. But yeah, I don't know. It's probably the option that to allow them to take him. But yeah. Whatever. He died in my last playthrough, when I had her on my team, so okay. So I guess there is a way, but it wasn't what you would think. I guess I had to choose the option of letting them take him, which is not something you would think to do. But anywho, and ended there. We're either going to do Faith and Myth Part 2 or Nosy Reporter Part 1 probably on Friday to kick things off. I don't know yet, folks. Actually, you know what I need to check? Maybe if I just type in Coteries of New York. I need to see how many members can be in your coterie, and I'm just gonna say Coteries of New York. See if that pops up. Coteries of New York. You have about 16 nights, so you won't finish all 4 companion quests. 2 of them you can finish for sure, maybe 3. Okay, you can possibly get 3 if you don't do any of the side quests. Okay. Shoot, what night am I on? Well, find out in a moment, folks. Oh, so I looked, is 4 nights in New York enough? And I was like, what is this? 4 nights in New York is never enough time. Whatever time of year you decide to go. I'm like, wait, oh, that's not what I was thinking. Is 7 nights enough in New York? Fuck no. Is $1,000 enough for 5 days in New York? No, fuck that. Well, you could, but no. How much money did Dark spend when he was in Tokyo? We're not going to say. How many times did you go to the ATM, Dark? I'm not going to say. Was it more money than what you spent when you were in Sydney, Australia, and then you went to see your friend, one of your friends in Melbourne, and saw your other friend who came down from Newcastle? I'm not going to say. How about when you were in Fukuoka? I'm not going to say. Shh. Anywho. I mean, those were years ago. Things were cheaper. Not really. No. All right. See, when it said save and quit, I thought and exit and quit. I thought that was the only way you can save. I didn't know there wasn't a fucking autosave. How many? Night 11. Okay, I'll be able to get Tamika. Oh, worried there. I might have gotten 3 coterie members because I think what I did one time is I just did coterie members. I didn't do any of the other side quests because I think you don't have to do the other side quests. I don't think. But I'm pretty sure you should have coterie members. But anywho, I'm going to end it here, folks. This has been DarkElf85 on YouTube or HektontheMage here on PSN. And this has once again been Vampire the Masquerade Coteries of New York. I hope you all have a very good rest of the day, night, or anywhere in between. Stay safe out there, folks, and goodbye.